So we have seen definition of basis, how to define basis for a topology. And before that, we have also studied the definition of comparable. When we say that two topologies are comparable, suppose there are two topology defined on any set or more than two topology, then in that case, when we say that two given topologies are comparable, so we have seen definition. Now let us look at some more properties and then we will discuss each of these with the help of examples. We will see various examples, don't worry. But keep revising previous lectures because all are connected. If you miss previous lectures, then you will be in trouble. Okay, so is there any doubt regarding previous lectures? You can visit playlist and revise from those recorded lectures. I have already posted all lectures in playlist. Okay. So let me share this screen, I mean book, and let us recall once again the what definition we have. I think some people are still in waiting room. Let me enter them.
सर अटेंडेंस कंप्लीट हो चुकी है सर क्या?
नहीं, स्नैपशॉट भेज देंगे, मैं अटेंडेंस दे दूंगा। ऑलरेडी वो नेटवर्क फेलियर की वजह से 10 मिनट खराब हो चुके हैं, तो मैं टॉपिक पे आता हूँ। आप लोग स्नैपशॉट लेकर व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में पोस्ट कर देंगे, मैं देख के अटेंडेंस दे दूंगा। Okay, so this is the definition for basis for a topology. Basis for a topology. So according to this definition, suppose X is any set, then we say that a collection is a basis for a topology, and let us denote that collection with this script B of subset of X called basis element if it satisfies following two conditions. What are those conditions? For each X belonging to X, there is at least one basis element P containing X. I mean, around every member of the set, from that collection, from this collection, there should be at least one member B. So in simple, B stand for the members of this collection, which we are going to claim as basis. So if around each X we have at least one member from this collection, and second condition is that suppose there are two B1 and B2, suppose there are two members from this collection, whenever, remember second condition, you have to check when such B1 B2 exist, if there are two basis elements, say B1 B2 containing X, then there must be a third member B3 from this collection which is sitting inside B1 at intersection B2. Actually here this is this notation, remember that in Munkar, J.R. Munkar's, this notation stands for this one. Okay. Now, so if B satisfies these two conditions, then we define that topology, that then we will say that this topology is generated by this collection B, script B, as follows. A subset U of X is, and see, earlier we have already seen definition of open set. Once there is a topology on any set, then every member of that topology is assumed to be open. So that is one definition. Second definition, one can define using basis member. Already I told you that just it is going to something parallel to what we have learned in metric spaces. In metric spaces, we have seen that the role of balls, there actually balls are constructed with the help of distance function, we have seen in earlier lectures. So similar role of balls is here played by, you can say, basis element. And later on we will see that every open set, I mean every member of the topology, member of topologies are open sets. So every member of the topology, or one can say that every open set can be written as union of basis element, arbitrary union of basis element. So you will see that. So the definition of a subset U of X is said to be open in terms of basis element is that around each X belongs to U, there exists at least one basis element from this script B such that X belongs to B and B is contained into U, such that X belongs to B and B is contained to U. Okay, so here B denotes the basis element. We will always talk in terms of basis element. Now, this example I was discussing, and you can see first part we have done. Okay, let me once again revise this. Here a collection is given. Suppose this script B is collection of all circular regions, that is the interior of a circle, or you can say open disk. Collection of all open disks in the plane. Then claim is that this is going to generate, okay, then claim is that this collection is going to form a basis. If it is basis, then see, basis in R2, plane R cross R, plane, one can denote plane by R cross R, partition product, or in short R2. So one know that any X belonging to R2 will be written as this X1 or comma X2. Now in this plane around each X, one can always construct an open disk. So this is trivially true. There is no problem in this one. So first condition of the base is that for each X belonging to us, there is at least one basis element, and here basis elements are a collection of all circular region. So around each X, one can always have this basis element. Which are open disk around that X, because in basis we have collection of all circular regions. So whatever you think open disk around this point, those are basically members, because we have taken collection of all circular regions. Second, suppose there is any X which is, and there are two members, basis members, I mean there are two members from this set, say this one, this circle, as well as this circle, not circle, basically these are open disk, interior of circle. Here it is written in this way, shown in this way, but basically it is interior of the circle. So one can so if their intersection is non-empty, then one can always have another B3 circular region around this X, which is in B1 intersection B2. So this is very clear from the geometry. So from here we will see that later on, we will see that basically this will generate the usual topology on R2. That will come next. So till now, here it's okay that this collection is going to satisfy the condition of basis. I mean collection of all interiors of circle is going to form a basis. That condition we have done. Now next example is, see, our topology on R2 will be generated also by collection of all rectangular regions, interior of a rectangles, where the rectangles have sides parallel to the coordinate axis. I mean basically we are interested in we have collection of all open rectangles whose sides are parallel to the coordinate axis, So if we have collection of all those rectangles, interior of the rectangles whose sides are parallel to coordinate axis, then the claim is that collection of all those rectangular regions is again going to satisfy the condition of basis. See how? Actually this is already here. You can see that if this is around each X, one can always construct open rectangular regions around each X. of R2 of this plane, one can always construct. And suppose there are two B1, B2. So you can see that if B1 and B2 are two members, I mean open rectangular regions of that collection, whose axes are parallel to coordinate axis, I mean x and y say, then either their intersection will be empty, or again their intersection will be a open rectangular region. That is again going to be member of this one. But for basis I need to show that around each x. See, whenever there is B1, basis member from that collection script B, which is containing this x, and if suppose there is another member B2 as shown in this diagram, then one can always have this circular region say B3, which is contained into B1 intersection B2. Thus I can say that not only collection of all circular regions, in fact collection of all open rectangular regions, or you can say interior of rectangles whose sides are parallel to coordinate axis, is going to form a basis. Is going to why here
और वेट कर रहे हैं सर.
Okay, just so is this book visible to everyone? Yes, example 2,
Yes,
page 79.
Yes sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now question, okay, just think why not, collection of all those rectangular regions whose sides are not parallel to coordinate axis, will that make basis? Just try to play with its geometry. You will see that there may not exist such B3. Okay, now example 3. Look at example 3. I told you that how to form discrete topology. Discrete topology is basically collection of all possible subset of X on any non-empty set. If you want to have discrete topology, then basically in initial class, in starting of the class, I told you that there are two topologies always on any non-empty set. One is the discrete topology and another one is indiscrete topology. I am talking about topology, not metric. There is a difference in discrete topology and discrete metric. Most of people think that both are same. No, both are not same. Discrete topology basically is your power set. Power set, I mean collection of all possible subset is your discrete topology. So what is written here, see, if X is finite, then one can always write its power set. But if X is infinite, it may be countable, it may be uncountable. It's not possible to write all of the members of the set power set X. So since one cannot list all of the members of power set of X in every cases, so it will be easier to write its basis, because with the basis later on we will see that by taking arbitrary union of the basis member, one can generate the topology, I mean every open set. Thus later on in all those cases we will define a topology in terms of basis, because basis may be a smaller collection. Roughly speaking, basis may be a smaller collection. And later we all see that whenever a basis is given, just by put phi and x in it and take arbitrary union along with the members of basis, and that is going to generate the topology. So for that we need to look at this. So here what is written, that collection of all one point subsets of X. If we have collection of all singletons, then this is going to generate the discrete topology on any set. So let me explain this, that why okay, first check whether collection of all one point set is going to satisfy the condition of basis or not. And then I will show you this condition, that how to generate topology from a basis. Basis is a collection satisfying above two properties. So for this, let me explain you using whiteboard. So discrete topology is and remember that discrete topology is the largest topology. On any non-empty set, largest topology. And basically this is power set. You will see that this is power set. Why? Look, let me start from just 3 members. Say first let us deal with finite case and then we will generalize it to arbitrary spaces. Suppose in our set we have 1 2 3. These are the just notation. In place of this you can take A B C. So we know that power set is basically discrete topology is collection of phi x all singletons. Just write all singletons, then 1 2 1 2, then 2 3, and then 1 3, and then 1 2 3, which is x. Is it? यहां तक तो डाउट नहीं किसी को? This is what your power set, and one can check that this is going to satisfy the. ठीक है. So on this set we have taken this power set. Power set is basically the discrete topology, because one you can check that the first condition for topology is that phi and x should be there. Phi and x should be there. Second, finite and arbitrary union. So whatever union you will choose, you will take, that will be a series set, and since it's power set, so it is going to be member of that set. For example, 1 2 union of 1 2 is 1 2 here already, that is in T of x. You can call this as T or power set of x. So you can check that arbitrary union of all these members is again in this T, or and again their finite intersection of 1 2 is phi, so phi is already there. Intersection of 1 and 1 2 is 1, so singleton 1 is there. So in this way this is going to form a topology. Okay, now my claim is that all singletons of this set, my claim is that this basis singleton 1, singleton 2, singleton 3, this is going to form a basis collection of all singleton. What is written there, that collection of all singleton is going to form basis for the topology, for the discrete topology. Collection of all singletons, just let me write here, collection of all singletons is going to form a basis for discrete topology. This is written there. Now to understand this, let me explain it with the help of example, and I have started it with a finite set, and then we will generalize it to abstract spaces. So one can observe here that, see, my claim is that the collection of all this is going to generate is going to form a basis. Now first check whether this collection of singleton is basis or not. So for basis around each x, see, first condition is there to check basis, recall what written there. To check for every x belonging to x, for every x belongs to, there exists at least one member B belonging to this collection, which we are going to claim as basis, such that x belongs to B, So for every x belonging to x, so here are x can be 1, x can be 2, x can be 3. So one can see that for this one there is singleton 1, for this 2 there is singleton 2 from this collection, for this 3 there is singleton 3. So that is trivially true. Is it? ठीक है, यहां तक डाउट तो नहीं किसी को? क्या हुआ, सो गए आप लोग? ठीक,
नो डाउट सर, जग रहे हैं सर।
आ रहा है समझ में ना? डाउट तो नहीं है कोई?
जी सर।
हाँ, देखो मैंने ये पहले बताया आपको कि जो डेफिनेशन दे रखा है ना, आपको वर्ड बाय वर्ड उसको फॉलो करना है। कहीं ये बीच में अपनी कोई फीलिंग या अपनी डेफिनेशन नहीं लाएंगे, आपको वही डेफिनेशन फॉलो करना है जो डिफाइन है। Second, if there exists some B1, B2 containing X, if there exists some B1, B2, there are more than 2 members containing a particular element, then there must exist a B3. So here there are no open set, no members from this, which, see, one contains, singleton 1 contains 1 only. So there are no 2 members B1, B2 which contain same X. So you don't need to check that the second condition, because that condition is there whenever, see, whenever B1 B2 belongs to B, I mean this collection, such that X belongs to B1 as well as X belongs to B2, then there must exist some B3 belonging to B such that X belongs to B3 and B3 is contained into B1 intersection B2. But before checking this condition, you need to check, are there B1 B2 satisfying this condition? So since there are no B1 B2, see these members are called as B1. Let me write this one as B2 here and this one as B3 here. B1 B2 B3 are members of this collection B, script B. So since there are no such members, so this second condition is trivially true. Because if there exists some B1 B2 and you don't find B3, then this condition will fail. Since there is no B1 B2 containing X, there are no two different B1 B2 containing X, so this second condition is vacuously true. So in this way we have proved that basically this collection is basis. Now, so this is what written, that collection of all singletons is going to form a basis for the discrete topology. Now, next question, basically, when we will proceed, we will see that once the basis is given, by taking its arbitrary, put phi and x along with this set. Now, from this basis, how we will generate this topology? From this basis, it's given that collection of all singletons will form a basis for the discrete topology. And once a basis is given and you want to generate the topology, so in layman I can say that to generate this topology, what we will do, whenever a basis is given, and we will also see that this basis may not be unique. But if basis is given and you want to generate topology, then write all these the members of basis element in topology first. So suppose singleton 1 is there, singleton 2 is there, singleton 3 is there. Apart from this, put phi and x always. There is a reason why phi and x will be there, that we will see. And then start taking their arbitrary union. See, the union of phi and 1 is 1. So 1 is already there in a set. Repetition is not allowed, so no need to rewrite it. Now, union of 1 2 is 1 2. Union of this 2 3 is 2 3. Union of this 1 2 3 is x, which is already there, and union of 1 and 3 is 1 3. So you can see that from this basis I have generated this topology. Remember, in topological space, whenever I say generated stands for, in layman terms, one can say generated stands for here union, arbitrary union. This is not the linear algebra. In linear algebra, we say that elements of vector space are generated by taking linear combination of basis member. There generated means linear combination. Here generated stands for arbitrary union. So don't be confused. Here generated stands for, whenever I say generated, means arbitrary union. So is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
First, we have constructed a
Yes,
set,
sir.
and we know that this discrete topology is basically the largest topology, and basically that is the power set. So power set is this one. Now, the advantage is that for the topology, you need to write all the members. For example, if we are considering the discrete topology, then you have to write all the members, because power set is collection of all subsets of X. But you can see that here the basis is easier to write, because once we know the basis, by taking their arbitrary union, I can always generate the topology. So this will be useful basically in case of infinite set. Infinite set, you can easily write even members of topological spaces. But in infinite cases, it's not possible to always write all of the members of the topology, whatever topology is given there. So it will be better to talk in terms of basis member, basis. Because once the basis is known, by taking their arbitrary union, one can generate the topology. And if basis consists of all singletons, then remember this is going to generate the largest topology, because singletons are the smallest non-empty building blocks. This is the reason why by taking their union, we are going to generate the largest topology. That is what written, which we were discussing in previous lecture, that a truck full load of gravels, and when we say what is the term, and when we what to say, I don't remember the exact word. क्या कहते हैं उसे, मतलब आप छोटे पीसेस में अगर कर दो, है ना, उसे ग्रिंड करके, if you grind it in smaller pieces, then that will going to generate a bigger set by taking their arbitrary union, because all those members are already there, and by taking the union, when you start union with the smaller elements, you have more number of sets. And we will also see that for a particular topology, basis may not be unique. I mean, in this 1 2 3, if I add, say, if I choose this one, B is equal to, say, singleton 1, singleton 2, singleton 3, and then let me also take this 1 2, then one can see that this is also going to be generate the same topology. So this is also going to satisfy the condition of basis. This is also going to satisfy the member basis. So thus basis may not be unique. Now let me come to.
सर बेसिस के एलिमेंट जो है वो जो नल सेट है वो कैसे रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, ये वाला समझ में नहीं।
अभी आ रहा हूं मैं, ये फाई कैसे है ना, आता हूं उसी पे, ठीक है। ये यूनियन में क्यों डाल दिया, ये है ना आपका क्वेश्चन? गुड,
जी सर।
हाँ, आता हूँ, ठीक है। तो यहाँ तक क्लियर हो गया आप लोगों को?
जी सर।
अगर फाई नहीं डालेंगे तो टोपोलॉजी बनेगा नहीं सर।
हाँ, वो रिक्वायरमेंट है, वो बेसिकली अभी आते हैं इस पे। अच्छा, वन मोर थिंग इज दैट, लुक हियर, ऑब्जर्व फ्रॉम हियर दैट सिंस एवरी मेंबर ऑफ बेसिस is already there in the topology, every member of the basis,
yes sir,
will be also member of the topology.
Yes sir.
And once it forms a topology, we know that by definition that every member of the topology is said to be an open set. पढ़ा था ना शुरू में कि जैसे भी एक बार टोपोलॉजी हो गया तो उसके सारे मेंबर्स क्या होंगे? ओपन सेट,
ओपन हो जाएंगे।
Yes, so can I say that every member of basis is also an open set?
जी सर।
यस सर, क्योंकि उसमें
बेसिस के मेंबर भी ऑलवेज क्या होंगे? ओपन सेट।
ठीक सर।
मेट्रिक स्पेस आपने बॉल्स पढ़ा होगा, तो बॉल्स की बात तब करते हैं जब मेट्रिक हो, क्योंकि बॉल्स का जो डेफिनेशन है ना, bxy, बेसिकली दैट इज कलेक्शन ऑफ ऑल y बिलोंगिंग टू x सच दैट bxr सच दैट डिस्टेंस बिटवीन xy इज लेस देन r। तो अगर आप तो यहाँ डिस्टेंस फंक्शन की हेल्प से हमने बॉल जनरेट किया था, तो अगर आप कंपेयर करो तो सब कुछ पैरेलल चल रहा है। अगर बॉल्स को ओपन बॉल्स को ये बेसिस मेंबर से रिप्लेस कर दो, बेसिस मेंबर से, तो ऑलमोस्ट चीजें पैरेलल चल रही है, लेकिन एक्सेप्शंस हम बहुत सारे देखेंगे। ठीक है, अब आते हैं ये क्वेश्चन की कैसे इसमें फाई कैसे इंक्लूड करेंगे। देखो, एक्चुअली में कुछ एग्जांपल देने जरूरी होते हैं ताकि आपको और चीजें समझ में आने लगे वो क्या लिखा हुआ है इस बुक में। Now look this one. So I can say that if X is any set, the collection of all one point subset of X is a basis for the discrete topology. ठीक है, ये क्लियर हो गया आपको?
जी सर।
Now what I explained there with the help of example, that is here written. So next line is, let us check now that the collection T generated by the basis, here generated means arbitrary union. Whenever I say generated means arbitrary union. मैंने आपको डिफरेंस बता दिया, वो लीनियर अलजेब्रा का जनरेटेड नहीं है। By the basis B is in fact a topology on X, just like in that's case X equal to 1 3, I show you that collection of all singletons, by taking their arbitrary union, it is going to generate this collection T, I mean topology. Now how to say that U empty set is always there. This is written here. If U is the empty set, it satisfies the defining condition of openness vacuously. देखो कैसे. And after this, it's written that likewise X is in T. The full space is always in T, since for each X belonging to there is some basis element. देखो basis का definition यही था. A set
हर
is
एक X के लिए basis element मिलेंगे, ठीक सर.
हाँ, a set U is said to be open. इससे जस्ट पहले जो open set की definition हमने basis के टर्म बताया था, अगर आप उसे recall करो, U is said to be open if for every X belonging to U, just write it and then compare it with these two with this one. Any set is said to be open if for every X belonging to U, there exists at least one B from this collection basis such that X belongs to B and B is contained into U. यही तो लिखा था. Any set U subset of X. देखो U subset of X होगा और U power set का भी member होगा. So any set is said to be open. This definition is of a set to be open in terms of basis. यही तो है basis के term में. If there exists, if for every X belonging to U, there exists B belonging to B such that, so for every X, हर X के round check करना है. Now look, phi is open. Why? Phi is open and will belongs to T. Suppose U is equal to empty set. Suppose U is equal to empty set. Then claim is that phi will belongs to T. Why? See, the members of topology are open set. So phi is there. Why? Because see, there is no element X. अगर कोई ऐसा एलिमेंट होता जो ये डेफिनेशन फेल कर जाता, then we will say that U is not open. Because since there is no element in phi which fails this condition, therefore phi is the defining condition of openness vacuously. Phi is trivially an open set. बात समझ आई? देखो हमेशा जब ट्रिवियल चीजें प्रूफ करना हो तो आप दो बार निगेशन यूज किया करो. दो बार निगेशन. कोई स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है एंड निगेशन का निगेशन क्या हो गया, वो स्टेटमेंट ट्रू हो गया. आई मीन P. So what I said that there is no element in phi which fails this condition. Remember the language. There is no element, no first time negation. There is no element in phi which fails. Fails is again a negation. So let me write here that there is no element in phi. There is no element in phi which fails this definition of open set. I mean this one. See, U is not said to be open if there exists if for any X we don't have any B such that X is in B and B is contained into U. So since this definition is true vacuously, so we will say that phi belongs to T, or you can say that phi is an open set. Or also one can see that since we have to make topology and the first requirement is that phi and X should be there, so some authors follow this definition that don't discuss on phi. But if you compare with this definition, then phi is every empty set is always member of T, because the first condition of topology is that phi and X should be there. Now the second is that likewise X is in T. Why the full space is in T? Yes. Actually, here I want to discuss the definition of that whether a set is open or not in terms of basis, because we have already studied basis. So from here now on, I am going to discuss every definition in terms of basis.
Yes, sir.
Open set definition of here open set in terms of basis is this one. Now you have to strictly follow this definition. Now in place of U, suppose U is equal to X, then again my claim is that whether X will be a member of this T.
Yes,
Leave
sir.
the definition. According to the definition of topology, phi and X should be trivially there. But apart from this, if you want to use this definition, then you can always claim. See, it is assumed that B is the basis. B is the basis. We need to check that this collection T generated by the basis element, that the collection any T which is generated by the members of basis, which is basically the collection of all sets, sets which are generated by taking arbitrary union of the members of B, that is going to form the topology. So we know that the first condition of topology is phi should and x should be there. So phi we have seen. Now second condition is that the whole space will be also there. Why? Now if any x belongs to x, and obviously here x is non-empty. So if any x is there, and since B is a basis, it's given there. So first condition of basis is that around each x, there must be at least one B from this collection, such that x belongs to B and B is contained into
X.
x. I mean जो u था यहाँ पे, यही तो था ना. देखो ऊपर बेसिस का
Yes, sir.
डेफिनेशन. देखो आपको
Definition.
बार बार डेफिनेशन रिपीट करना है. बेसिस का पहला कंडीशन क्या था? फॉर ईच x इन x there is at least one basis element B containing x. यही तो था.
Yes, sir.
इस कलेक्शन से कम से कम एक B मिलना चाहिए जो इसे कंटेन करे. तो वो तो यहाँ पे हो रहा है ना. क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि B बेसिस है, इट्स गिवन. कहां गए? देखो ये यहाँ पे क्या है कि आपको बेसिस दिया हुआ है. Basis is given. Now use the definition of basis and prove that x will be in T, where T is the arbitrary union of the members of B. अब देखो बेसिकली क्या प्रूफ करना चाह रहे हैं. If you recall, in metric spaces we have shown that every open set can be written as arbitrary union of open balls. अगर आपको याद होगा, जहां पे x को कहां रन करा देते थे? u पे. u के हर एक मेंबर के राउंड अगर बॉल बना के यूनियन ले लो, सो दैट इज u. So similar role here is played by basis. U is an open set, then every open set can be written as arbitrary union of basis members, where basis member will run over each x belonging to U. So that is,
Yes, sir.
that we will see. So phi and x is there. Now using the definition of basis, we need to show that not only phi and x, in fact, whatever indexed family U alpha of open sets are there, see the members of basis is assumed to be open, so their arbitrary union will be also open. Their arbitrary union will be also open means their arbitrary union will also belongs to T, because the members of topology is said to be open. So how you will show that? So let us consider this one, index family U alpha, where alpha belongs to index set. Index set, I mean it can be countable, it can be uncountable. So since we don't know the nature, so just write U alpha where alpha belongs to J, where each U alpha is open. Now let us take an indexed family U alpha of elements of T. Elements, we are U alpha is elements of T means each U alpha is open because they are elements of the topology T. Now we are interested in showing that not only the members of topology T, in fact their arbitrary union will be again the member of T. This is what the second condition for the topology. यही तो है सेकंड कंडीशन टोपोलॉजी के लिए. फाई और एक्स हो गया. अब आर्बिट्री यूनियन प्रूफ कर देंगे और इसके बाद क्या प्रूफ कर देंगे? फाइनाइट इंटरसेक्शन.
Yes, sir.
Since U alpha are members of T, so each U alpha is open. Now suppose x belongs to U. Since U is arbitrary union of U alpha, so x belongs to U means x belongs to at least one of the U alpha because union is there. If it is intersection, then x must belongs to each of the U alpha. So since it is in union of U alpha, so there is an index alpha such that x belongs to U alpha. I mean there will be at least one of the U alpha in which x
For some alpha.
For some alpha. So since U alpha is open, अब recall करो, since U alpha is open, so there must exist some B from the basis which contains that element and which is contained into U.
Sir, open set की definition.
बस ओपन सेट की डेफिनेशन आप यहाँ लगा दो. So since U alpha is open, so there must exist at least one basis element from the script B such that x belongs to B and B is contained to U alpha.
Yes, sir.
बताओ ये यूनियन U is equal to union of U alpha का क्या मतलब हुआ? U alpha is contained to U. ये क्लियर हुआ कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
भाई जब
ये पूरा सर है ना उसका यूनियन भी उसका
U में भी
सबसेट
तो
होगा ना.
होगा. हाँ, when B is in U alpha, so B will also be in U because U is union of all the U alpha.
Yes, sir.
What we need to show that x there exists at least one B for each x belonging to U such that x belongs to B and B is contained into U, this U, which is arbitrary union of U alpha. So this is the reason why that arbitrary union is again an open set. Arbitrary union is again an open set and is again the member of T.
Yes, sir.
Do it for the finite intersection. third condition for T to be topology. So remember that whenever a basis is given and you want to generate topology, then put phi and x in it, write all members of basis, and then take arbitrary union. So that collection is always going to give you a topology. That collection is always going to give you a topology. So this is the third case. Just suppose U1, U2 are members of T, and suppose we need to show that they are finite union. So first do it for 2, and then using induction you can do it for finite. So
सर
suppose
2 के
U1,
लिए
U2
करने काफी रहता है, 2 पे ही हो जाता है.
हाँ 2 पे करके और
Finite है ना वो?
हाँ लिख देते हैं
के
जनरल
लिए कर लें फिर इन
मोस्टली इन्होंने 2 पे ही दिखाया है इसमें, इस बुक
हाँ
में.
2 के लिए हो गया तो वो फाइनाइट के लिए होल्ड करेगा. So you suppose U1, U2 are 2 members of T, and we need to show that U1, U2 again belongs to T. So if U1, U2 belongs to T, then U1, U2 must be an open set.
Yes sir.
U1 intersection U2 must be an open set. And what is the requirement? So let me call U1 intersection U2 as U. So for U to be open, in terms of basis, it must satisfy this definition.
So second condition लग जाएगी.
Yes. So since now suppose X belongs to U1 intersection U2. Now I need to show that there exists at least one B3, say B, which contain X and which is contained to U1 intersection U2.
Yes
Now
sir.
since U1 is an open set, just repeat this definition once again. Whenever U is an open set, then around every point of the U, there exists at least one element from the basis which contains that X and which is contained into U. So use this definition. Since U1 is open and
So
X
still
belongs to
suggestive
U1
element
intersection U2, so X will be in U1 as well as X will be in U2.
Yes sir.
Since U1 is open, so around each X there will be at least one, say B1,
Yes sir.
from the
उधर बीच में मिल
basis
जाएगा.
which contains X and which is contained to U1. Same will be true
Yes,
for
sir.
U2,
Yes sir.
because U2 is also open set.
Yes sir.
So using the definition of basis, one can do this, write this. Now B1, B2, see B1, B2 are open set, and also
Yes, sir.
not B1, B2 are open set. Just we know that B is a basis. Script B is a basis.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
So whenever there are two
So उसकी
B1,
second
B2,
condition.
yes, just use second condition. From second condition of basis, one can claim that there always exists B3, which is contained to B1 intersection B2. And if B3 is contained to B1 intersection B2, it will be also contained in U1 intersection U2. Why? Because U1 intersection U2 is superset of this B1 intersection B2.
Yes sir.
Because U1 is containing B1 and U2 is containing B2. So
Yes,
this
sir.
B3 is also
Contextual
going to
section
be
भी बड़ा हो
contained to
जाएगा.
U1 intersection U2. So our job is done now. This implies that U1
Yes,
intersection U2 belongs to T. I mean topology. So this is the diagram there, and since you have done it for 2, so just you can use induction and write this. Up to
Yes,
n
sir.
minus 1, assume it is one set, and this one is second, and then just write that using induction. Do it for 2 and use intersection. This finite induction on finite intersection.
Yes.
So this is going to be. So from this we have seen that whenever basis is given and we want to generate topology, then what we will do? Write all members of the basis, put phi and x in it, and then take arbitrary union. So that is always going to generate a topology. Why phi and x we have discussed. Now when we will deal with problem, we will use this technique. So that lemma is written here. What I am saying, that lemma is there. Let X be a set and a basis for a topology is given. Then topology can be obtained from this basis by taking all union of elements of B.
Yes, sir.
all union of elements of B.
B.
ठीक है, समझ आ गया? जब भी आपको बेसिस दिया होगा उससे टोपोलॉजी जनरेट करनी होगी तो उनकी यूनियन लेके जनरेट कर लेंगे. And this is what I was discussing, that just like in metric spaces you have seen that any open set can be written as arbitrary union of open balls where X belongs to U. So similar role is played here by basis. See, in general topological spaces we will never talk of balls. Balls is only in metric and norm whenever distance function is there.
Yes,
Here
sir.
we will not talk. Basically, basis is, you can say, generalization of ball. If you replace this basis by ball, then you will get all results what you have studied in metric spaces.
Yes, sir.
तो वो इसका पर्टिकुलर केस है, मेट्रिक इसका पर्टिकुलर केस है, वो आगे आएगा भी कि अगर इन सारे डेफिनेशन में आप बेसिस को बॉल से रिप्लेस कर दो तो आप देखोगे वो सब कुछ आपको जो मेट्रिक स्पेसेस में पढ़े हो वो मिल जाएगा.
Yes, sir.
But there are several exceptions, especially in limit point and convergence. We will find that what you have studied in metric space, those results may not be true in topological spaces. So I will come it to one by one. ठीक है, आपकी अगली क्लास होगी ना?
यस सर, लिंक भी आ गई है.
आगे ठीक है,
जी
चलिए
सर.
कल ये रीड करके आएंगे तो फिर मैं आगे कल पढ़ाऊंगा.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर.
Okay.